Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Beast Wars Transformers Deluxe Class Transmetals Rattrap. So, this was another pickup I got from TFCon now last year. It's still just got another week of these to get through, and they're all Beast Wars related, and today we're taking a look at the Transmetals Rattrap. This is the appearance that the character Rattrap had during the second and third seasons of the cartoon. It's picking up at the start of the second season. He is a very metallic and chromed out rat that also has a third mode. I guess that's what they're going to call it. Let's just go with a third mode that is kind of a mouse dragster race car kind of a thing. We'll get into that in a bit, but for now, let's take a closer look at this rat mode. And you can see, like I mentioned, very metallic rat, a very metallic looking rat as opposed to the season 1 designs where they were all very organic. This is a very mechanical looking rat. Starting off with the head, we got brown going on for most of the head with a little bit of a silver-ish kind of a color going on, picking out the ears, a stripe down the front of the head, and areas around the eyes, around those nice green eyes. The eyes are kind of flat, but that's fine. There's also some nice, really nice silver picking out those teeth, though he is always in this kind of growling pose. It's kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like there's that one series, like they had the mouths that kind of like had that really weird open grinning smile anger thing. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Then he also has like two front teeth going on right there that are also painted in silver. Coming to the back here, you've got some nice red chrome going on, a little bit of peeling and flaking, but certainly nothing as bad as my Transmetals 2 Prowl that I picked up from TFCon as well. Certainly not peeling off in your hand, though this was also out of the, this was out and about, not inside a packaging. So this is doing well because this seems to mostly just be normal, like 20 years wear and tear kind of thing. So I am completely fine with the middle bits of flaking. I saw another Rattrap and like all the chrome was just gone. This one was nice. This one was quite nice for age and being out of the box. Come back here. Oh, we also got a little bit of orange picking out right there. Tiny bits of orange right there. You've got Rattrap's names tampoed on right there. If you couldn't remember he was Rattrap or something. Little bits there that we'll talk about later. You got these giant red wheels sticking out the side. You're kind of like supposed to be like knee. It's like the hips of the rat, but boy, those are some big hips. There's also some orange bits there along the sides and along the sides. And then you also got this tinier front wheel that's mostly brown, a little bit of chrome red on the wheel there. Actually kind of makes me think of the Target logo with that shape. That's just the Target logo. He's sponsored by Target. And then you got the feet, which is this very yellowish, off-whitish color. Same with the back feet. And then you got the tail, which is in that same off-whitish, yellowish color. A little bit of brown there, and a bit of chromed red going on at the tip of the tail. And yeah. And then you got the underside, and you see arms and legs and a crotch right there. So yeah. For articulation, since it is a beast former, there is nothing going on to the head. The feet are able to move. Well, the front feet are able to move at that joint. I don't think they can make a complete full 360, partly because of how the transformation works, but you can definitely get that movement out of that joint. And then there's this joint down here that allows the feet to bend forward. And if I can get it up like so. The back feet, they can move out to the sides a little bit, and then the feet themselves can like angle in like that, but because of how the body is shaped, the back feet only really work when they're in that position, that exact position. So you're not doing much with the back legs, especially because like how low bits and pieces of the back of the undercarriage like hit the ground in this form, so you're not getting much out of that. However, what you are getting a lot out of is the tail, because as you can see, there are so many joints. First, we have this joint up here, and then we have that hinge, and then it just alternates the rest of the way, which direction the tail pivots all the way to the end, so you can get a lot of posability out of this tail. And then just at the end, it's a double hinge at the, well, double hinge, they're both the same directional hinges. The tail tip doesn't get as far of rotation, but it still gets rotation. So again, yeah. And you can just pose this however you want. So certain ways are you can certainly get the tail going in a very smooth curve, but also very very smooth curve. But then you can also get some really sharp angular curves out of the tail, if that's what you want to do. But yeah, the tail is only going to be his only accessory, so there are no accessories else to talk about in his rat mode. So let's get on to some size comparisons. Let me just fix those feet right quick. And now we'll get into the comparisons with Legends class Bumblebee. And you can see how big Rattrap is next to Bumblebee. Here he is with the Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And he's shorter than Chrome Dome, but certainly he's got more height to him. Well, not including the tail, of course. Just the main body. There he is with Voyager class Megatron. And Leader class 6-shot. Just gonna raise that up a little bit. And the tail is substantially longer than 6-shot. And that wasn't even extended out at its straightest path. So yeah. That's all there is for Rattrap in his rat mode. So now let's get on to his car mode. Yeah, let's just call it a car. It's going to be a very simple transformation. The first thing you're going to do is you are going to rotate these forward. And whoops, I will say the head does like to come off just because of how tight the joints are to get the wheels locked into place. But actually, no, never mind. That's how far it is supposed to go. But the face will still split apart oftentimes. So you want to get the wheels into that position with the feet folded up like that. I'll show it better on this side. So rotate that up there and fold the feet down like so. Like so. There we are. Make sure they're folded flat like that. And then I guess the tail's going to come off. So we'll reattach the tail. Then we'll come over here. We'll fold these sections out. Flip the feet in, and then finish folding the wheels down like so. Do the same on the other side. Flip the foot in, fold the wheel down. There, you've got that. Then you come up here, you fold these exhaust pipes out, and then you just straighten the tail out as far as you can. And there you have Rattrap in his Dragster mode. And he rolls. He does have the 4 wheels. All 4 of them roll very smoothly. You may have to do some repositioning to make sure they're all sitting at the same level. But you got all the wheels going on like so. I'm just going to go over it briefly. I'm not going to really go into detail of the alternate mode since you definitely saw everything between the 2 modes. The only things to really note are the exhaust pipes going out back here. They give him a bit more of a dragstery vibe. And then just showing off the gaps that they leave when they are deployed. And then tail, you can do whatever you want. I think I've seen some instructions mention that this is the correct configuration. And then you kind of like get a laser tail weapon going on there. But I think most of the time in the show, the tail would just like stiffen straight out, and then this would be basically his form for that. And then let's get some size comparisons going on here. So here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee. It's basically going to be the same thing because all that happened, were very minor changes that happened, but it's for just consistency. So now Chrome Dome. Here he is with the Chrome Dome. Voyager Megatron. Leader Class 6 shot. So that's all there's to say on his Dragster mode. So now let's get on to his robot mode. So we're gonna fold those in. Then we're gonna come back here and detach the tail and move it off to the side. Just fits into this hole right here. That will become one of his hands. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get those up and out of the way. And then we're gonna come down here and we are going to untap the feet. There are holes right here that fit into ports right there and there. So we'll do that. We'll fill that down and we'll split the face while we are here to get things out of the way. This is a bit of a jumble, so it's gonna be a little messy, so bear with me. And then we're gonna rotate this arm up. Yeah, let's get that, yeah. We'll shift that ball joint and we'll rotate that up and that will tab into place right there. And then we're gonna move that one out of the way. Flip this entire assembly up and around and that will form his lower section. And then we're gonna just wiggle this arm out of there. That's a tight position and it just kind of, there's not like really a solid place for this arm to go. And really not really a solid place for that arm to go either, even though this tab exists and it doesn't seem like, even though that tab exists and there are holes in the arms that seem to go for those tabs. This tab is specifically designed for the crotch to tab into, so nothing's tabbing in there for the alternate mode. So the arms are kind of loose and kind of awkward, but you'll just pull that out from whatever position you got into and then fold that up like so, and you'll just straighten those out. Then we'll come down. Well, actually first we're gonna fold Rattrap's head out. And then we're gonna collapse this all down, fold it around, finish pulling his head through. And locking that into place. And then we'll rotate his lower legs around, flip the foot down, rotate his legs, flip the foot down, reorganize his kibble a bit, mainly just turning the head, actually we do have to get the feet out of the way a little bit because we do want the heads to become shoulder pads. The head halves to be the shoulder pads. You can't do that in that exact position. I'm just gonna reorganize things to clean it up a little bit. And there you have Rattrap. Hold on. Still organizing. There we go. Let's get the feet folded in like that along the back of the head. And then there you have Rattrap in his robot mode. And yeah, I mean, it's Rattrap. It's a shell former pretty much. Not a lot of the actual rat goes into making his actual body. Actually, none of the rat goes into making his actual body. Like you could just remove the shoulder pads and then all of the mouse, and then you could just have the robot there. So he's the shell former. He's a shell former. Taking a closer look at him, you'll see he has a very nice head sculpt. The mouth's a bit interesting for Rattrap. That's almost Dinobot. That's almost Chopper face like. On him, he's got the very, very angular, very thin, very sharp teeth going on. But he does have some nice blue going along the sides of his head. Got a nice orange cranium going on there, and some nice green eyes to match his beast mode green eyes. His chest is a little bit of the same off-white with some shading into the blue, which looks very nice, as well as a bit of an orange pectoral over here, and then just a plain pectoral over there. The head halves you saw. The arms, a little bit of gray on the upper section right there. That kind of yellowed off white kind of a thing going on for the rest of the arms. Same over there. gray crotch area, and hips, and then the yellowed off gray, off white for most of the lower legs. A little bit of blue paint picking up the lower legs a little bit, and then just completely gray feet. And then here's the entirety of the rat mode on his back. So yeah, very simple, very simple transformation, purely because it's mostly just pulling out the robot from the rat and then folding the rat around the robot. But I mean, it's Rattrap. It's accurate to the screen, so I mean, I can't complain too much about that. For articulation for a Rattrap, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees. The shoulder pads you can do whatever you want with. There's ball joints there, you just gotta readjust some things. The shoulders are able to rotate. There is a bit too much kibble to really manage a 360 degree rotation. You can do it, but like it's not, there's just so much kibble, you're really just like doing that to get a 360 rotation, but it is possible. And then the arms are able to bend out that far to the side. There is a bicep swivel allowing 360 degrees of rotation, as well as 180 degrees of elbow bend, with a very interesting kind of an elbow joint going on here with like extra molding to like fill the gap of the elbow bend, which is interesting. Don't see that on a lot of toys. Then there's nothing at the wrist, but you see his fist there. There is no waist swivel. It looked like there was a waist swivel, but that's because of how he folds in half to hide underneath the rat. The legs are able to bend that far forward, only that far back because there's so much rat backpack going on. The legs are able to bend that far out to the side. There is a thigh swivel allowing 360 degrees of rotation, as well as slightly over 90 degrees of bend. It's a little hard to tell just because his legs are molded are like a very interesting angles, almost like the kind of like the movie like Bird robot kind of angling, but not as extreme and certainly not as jointed. But he's just got some very interesting angles going on there, so it's a little hard to tell, but it's at least 90 degrees. And then the feet are able to rotate that far forward and that far back. So you do got some nice ankle tilt going on with him. Nothing side to side, but it's fine. It's nice. And then he is able to hold his tail weapon. You can, again, it's got all of the joints, so you can do whatever you want with it, really. But he is completely capable of holding it in his hands. He's gonna go fishing. He's gonna go fishing. And he did that in the show a few times with that tail, so he can definitely go fishing with this tail. But yeah. There's no other. As far as I know, there is no other place to store it. There's definitely no other place to store that tail. So it's either in the hands or off to the side. But that's all there is to say on Rattrap in his robot mode. So now let's take a look at some robot mode size comparisons. Are you going to be a problem standing up to Rattrap? Okay, you're fine. All right, robot mode size comparison time. Here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee, and you can see how tall he is next to him. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and you can see that he's full head shorter than Chrome Dome is, so he's kind of small for a Deluxe, but granted, he's also got a massive backpack going on, so that's probably where where the bulk would have been. Then we got Leader Class Megatron. So you can see that scale. Just gonna move them over a little bit. And he comes up to the bottom like that red bit on his chest. We got Leader Class 6 shot. And he just makes it above the bottom of his strip panels. And there goes Rattrap falling down. Do not scratch your chrome, Rattrap. Just don't. Just don't, please. And then here he is with the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. And you can see how he looks next to him. Them, I should say. So yeah, overall, Rattrap is very nice. It's an era that did not normally see screen-accurate representations. This is a very nice screen-accurate representation of a character. The Transmetals were pretty much the first ones to be faithfully screen-accurate since Generation 1. Character designs came after the toys, and they didn't care for the accuracy on that. The original the Season 1 Beast War toys were alright. Certainly more differences than normal, especially with removing like the beast mask that most of them had. And then Transmetals started getting into actual straight up screen accuracy, so that's very nice. So you have a screen accurate Transmetals Rattrap in your hands. Again, shell former, and again he does a lot of copies tend to have a chrome shedding problem, so encouraging to get one that's been opened and out of the packaging so you know how bad the chrome shedding problem actually is on your copy of the toy. I think I got mine for a good price. I cannot remember how much I paid for Rattrap. I want to say it's like 15, 20 something. I don't remember, but it certainly was fairly good for a 20-some-year-old toy of a popular character. I will say that. But yeah, that was fun. If you get a chance and you're interested, I'd say pick it up. Then I'm happy I've got Rattrap in my collection. But that is all I have to say on Rattrap, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.